Put a finger down if you love men who are decisive. Put a finger down if you love men who are straight to the point, say what they mean and mean what they say. Put a finger down if you like men who are strict, tell you about their program, and if you don't adhere to it, they will put you out and set a strict boundary. You love this type of men? Then I have a story for you.
Well, we need to work to decolonize the mindsets. We are working to recondition our people to accept living as they are, not to be ashamed of their realities, to be content with them, and even to take pride in them. It's fine if others live like that, but it's normal for us to live differently.
Today we're going to be talking about a very hot topic country, Burkina Faso. But to understand Burkina Faso, we have to go all the way back in time to a legend called Thomas Sankara. And before I get into him and the current president, Ibrahim Traore, who, by the way, they are so hot. Like, I was staring at their pictures like, damn, people know how to choose fine men. Or rather, fine men know how to choose Burkina Faso. Like, Burkina babes, yo, I see you, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, when I was in medical school, I entered medical school in China in 2015, right? It was an international college for medicine. A lot of people came all over the world to study. Some of my classmates that I interacted with were from the French-speaking country in Africa. And at that time, I did not have a lot of knowledge or exposure. I was just there to get medicine, get the degree, be a doctor, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so we got to talking and I would hear stories about how they had French armies stationed in their villages, in the cities and all of that. And there was not a certain type of way to speak that was permitted, because if you came out with certain ideologies, if you came out with certain ideas, if you were outspoken about certain things, you could be assassinated or your family could be isolated and all sorts of tragedies will happen to you. This was direct testimonies from the French-speaking classmates that I had, and these people were from Gabon and other French-speaking countries in Africa. And at that time, I had no idea what they were talking about. I didn't understand how colonization was still a prevalent thing, even in today, big 2025. I thought everything ended in the 1800s, 1900s, early 2000s, but no, 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 no. It never ended. It just took a new form. So with that, we're going to get into Thomas Sankara, who is worshipped like a god in Burkina Faso. And at first, when I heard about him, I was like, why do you all love this man so much? But now that I have studied him, I say I am a fan a bit. I see why they exonerate him so much. So he was a legend who grew up under a time of bloody coup. When Thomas Sankara was born, I think Burkina Faso was just coming out of direct French colonization, and they just headed into indirect French colonization, which is when the puppet government is installed. You don't care about your people, you just care to do what the French government is telling you to do, but then you mask it like, oh my God, we are independent and it's democracy. No, 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 not democracy. It's just all smoke and mirrors. But anyway, so he grew up in a Catholic family, was initially going to go to seminary school, which by the way, I'm grateful he did not go to. And when I was watching a documentary on his life, he was supposed to go to seminary school, right? And he wrote his entrance exam, an exam into higher education. And the priests of those days, I don't know, they loved him. They wanted him to come to seminary school, and they loved him so much and everything. But low-key, I feel like you were sent by the enemy, and you understand why in a bit. So he passed his higher education exam, and I think he also passed the requirements to get into seminary school. But then the father and the child, they all decided that, you know what, we're gonna go with higher education. And the priest told Thomas Sankara's father, like, you did not pray hard enough. That's why you're allowing your son go to higher education. That's not what God wants him to do. You liar from the pit of hell. I do not like when people try to use religion or pretend to be God speaking to manipulate people in that religion. Like, it's wild to me. But okay, you know what? Cool, cool, cool. Like I said, glad Joseph Sankara did not listen to those people, because his son went on to change the entire scape of Burkina Faso. So Thomas grew up, if you learn about him, you understand that he was way ahead of his time. Thomas was too, his mindset was just too much for a man born in that time. So he had ideas about imperialism, gender roles, and classism, and so many ideas that honestly me in big 2025 I actually kind of vibe with.
Voyez-vous, l'impérialisme a tort. Mais l'impérialisme est un mauvais élève. C'est un mauvais élève. Quand il est battu, quand il est renvoyé de la classe, il revient encore. C'est un mauvais élève. Il n'a jamais appris la leçon de son échec. Il n'a jamais tiré la leçon de son échec. Il est là-bas en Afrique du Sud, en train de parler, en train d'égorger les Africains.
So he grew up, entered into military school, grew between the ranks, and then they were just coup after coup after coup, and finally a coup was led. Him and his wolf in sheep clothing bestie, Campari, I hope I'm pronouncing this name's well, sorry. And then the both of them together established a new order of government after a coup. And they took over government. And yeah, so when he took over government, he didn't even wait. He was outspoken. He was like, down with the French, you all gotta go. We don't like none of you all. You all are always the ones acting like you're saviors, but yet you're sponsoring rubbish in this country. You don't care about the people. You just do things for yourself, and then all the other people that were installed as government here, they don't care about us either. They only care about pleasing their French masters. And hell yeah, I vibe with that, because what do you mean? What do you mean? And then was also the first man of his time who encouraged gender equality.
Qui veut dire que nous devons donner à chaque femme un emploi. Nous devons donner à chaque femme le moyen de gagner honnêtement et dignement sa vie.
He creates a real shock by being one of the first heads of state in the world to promote women's rights.
Like, he gave women a chance when they were not given a voice to speak in those times. Which, by the way, brings me to feminism and how some feminists like to act like, oh, feminism was just this movement that, came out of thin air and did not have certain men, powerful men, who gave that voice to them. Like, they act like, oh, it was just throughout time there's always women who rose up and supported women. No. It was not always like that when you study history. It was always certain people of position, men included, who would come into power and say, hey, this is not right. This is not right. You're not supposed to be treating your women like trash. They deserve a voice. They deserve to go to school. They deserve to be in leadership. I saw him, put so many reforms about how you should give voice to the women, even down to the domestic and how they were living maritally. I saw that he even had a day where he would make both genders swap roles. So he would say, okay, women, you do what men usually do. And then men, you guys go to the market. You guys take care of the home. You guys do this, do that, and I was like, this man, wow, that they had to kill you. You were stepping on toes of tradition. Like, you were taking out old time reforms. I'm very sure the very traditional people in his time were grumbling like a bunch of hisses, like, who does this man think he is? The woman is meant to be in the kitchen slaving. Like, why are you here trying to change things that we have bonded with? What's your problem, Thomas? What's your problem? And then, other than that, he was also a very frugal person. Another way imperialism comes into African nations is by the means of aids and loans. Thomas was very staunchly against those things. He said, we are going to be frugal. We're going to save. We're going to make sure this government does not have to borrow loans from any of these colonial masters who are trying to rebrand themselves as savior. You're not trying to help us. You're trying to drown us. And Nigeria... Because just a few days ago, these people were taking loans, and we in the country were here like, who are they giving these loans to? Wait, what are you people using these loans for? You always keep borrowing loans, taking loans from these people. We don't see it. Our skin, well, not mine though, but like general as a nation, our skin is ashy. You acting like you're gonna get this loan and make us look supple and better, but we don't see it. We don't see it. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, so he was revolutionary, right? His bestie, Campaore, who was initially with him at the beginning, was just a pure hater. And, I think Thomas had a lot of, even though he had love from the Burkina Faso people, I also read about some criticism of his government, how he would treat, political oppositions and stuff like that. But hey, honestly, in as much as I love to give a balanced view on, things like this, I feel like I'm going to say something a bit controversial. I am somebody who leans towards dictatorship. Let me explain. I lean towards dictatorship in the fact that if you allow a good person rule, and they rule for just 4 years or 8 years, and they do a lot of amazing things, from what I've seen historically, the next person that comes after them comes to pull down all the good things they have done and take the country back to ground zero. Now, dictatorship historically is also not a good thing because there's always bad people that are dictators. But if a good person is just allowed to rule for like 30 years without changing and sticking to what he said from the very beginning, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Look at China, that all of you like to call, even though I have my own reservations about them. But it's one party, it's one person that's been ruling since I think 2012 or 2015 or thereabout till now. And he came in, he said, hey, we're not going to do 2 terms. We're going to do however long I please. But then, the government is prospering from all worldly perspective. They're advancing, they are able to do a lot of things. Why? Because it's just one person that has been there for a while. It's also the same thing negatively when one wicked person is there for a while. So people have to suffer for a long time. Like, if we can just get good dictators who just continue like that and just allow to have peace for like 20, 25 years. Like, you don't change, just continue that goodness as you are going. It will not be good. Won't it be good? I just feel like that's my mindset. Like, because even in the state where I stay, we've had good governors, but the minute their 8 years is up, because we can vote them for 2 terms, their 8 years is up. The next thing, another government will come and just take us back. Like, it's just a little bit, they will just take off the tarred roads and pull everybody out of school and tell us, hey, let's go back to abject poverty and horror. Like, but then that's just my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go to his hater best friend who, I don't know, he just did not like that Thomas was changing a lot of things at once. Maybe he was a traditionalist at heart. You know what happened after he killed Thomas? Because the narrative is that a group of people burst into where Thomas was at the time, I think a government building after an official meeting, and then they killed him, Thomas, and 12 other people. And it's also said that the coup was led by the best friend and all of that, all of that. So when that best friend got into power, he basically undid everything that Thomas did, which made me know that he was always a hater. He was always a hater. Like, look, somewhere along the line, his heart got corrupted, but maybe secretly, always he had always been a traditionalist. Because the thing about change is people who have been benefiting from the decay and the rot, they're always going to be the first people that will oppose you or try to kill you. That's just what it is. So anyways, Campore gets into power and then proceeds to become an imperial puppet. Starts accepting loans, starts taking aids. I don't like, it just, like I said, took them back to the olden days. So that's for Thomas and Kapaori's, I really hope I'm pronouncing their names right, we story. So now we get to the one who is most talked about now, Ibrahim Traore.
There are many things we can do, but I think all of this is the result of colonization. Our minds have been somewhat blocked and we've been told to consume. But no, we need to create, and you need to believe in yourselves. If we don't believe in ourselves, we can't succeed, and that's the focus of our ongoing communication.
He was in the army, grew up, from all accounts I saw, always seemed to be a level-headed soldier. Initially, he was under a guy called Dembe or stuff, so that one led the coup to tackle another French puppet government, because right now Burkina Faso is facing a lot of terrorism and violence in their city. And let me not say right now, because I feel like right now it's been kind of tempered down as compared to before. So the reason why Ibrahim was under Dembe was because they had the same vision, like, oh, we need a government that's going to attend to the people and stop this violence and killing the land. That's why they got together, I'm saying. And when they got together, Dembe got into power and then began to behave like an imperialist puppet. And Ibrahim said, I'm gonna give you 9 months to get your act together. In fact, people say, oh, he betrayed him, but from what I saw, he was somebody who gave that guy chance of a chance of a chance. He would come often to the capital to tell him, hey, you were once a soldier like us. In fact, you are a soldier. You should know that we are not getting paid. You should know that, there's still high insecurity. You're not tackling the security issues that we were in line with before you entered power. This was our shared vision and value. How come now you are here in your air-conditioned office and you're acting like, oh my God, these problems, can't see them, they don't exist. So he gave him a lot of time as bestily, I say bestily because they were supposed to be close, as bestily possible to let this man get his act together and let's go, let's help the people. And yeah, Demi was like, nah, I'm a, I was gonna say the B word, I'm a bad B, but like he was like, yeah, that's your business. And there was even a time that came that when Charlie would come to bring the complaints of the people to him, he would not allow him to have access to him, if you get what I'm saying. Anyways, so Ibrahim said, okay, you know what, I give you enough time, now it's time to stand up business, and ousted him. And guess where this man ran to for protection? His mommy and his daddy? No, but yes, the French embassy in Burkina Faso. I don't know why France is so in love with Africa. Resources stealing aside, like they just can't let us go. They want us, they need us. It's this very toxic relationship that we are freaking tired of on this side, but then it's giving all those relationships where the man is like, if you leave, I'ma kill you, me, and nobody's gonna have anybody. That's the vibe it's given. Anyway, so Ibrahim took over presidency, and the first thing he did was kick Francis behind out. And I remember during that time I was in Nigeria, and I heard that the French people, no, I was saying the French people, the government of France was trying to use Nigeria as their sword against Burkina Faso, but that did not work out, right? Which made me now come to understand that okay, so Nigeria is also under that puppet line. Oh, okay. I didn't get that update. Now I got the update. Now I see that. Problem. It's a problem, but low-key ain't a problem, but it's a problem, if you get what I'm saying. I don't know, I'm just rambling. So, ever since he ousted the French army from Burkina Faso and all of that, it's been one coup attempt after another. Stories of bodyguards around him being paid to be, or rather offered to betray him, just like they did with Thomas and Campaori back in the day. I find it very funny. Thomas was betrayed by his best friend to become an evil French puppet, and now in the 2020s, it's Dembe being betrayed by Ibrahim to become a Sankara revolution type leader. It's almost like what goes around comes around. Like here's that. Take that. Take that. You. What am I even doing? Also, another thing I found funny is hearing that the Princess of Dubai came to propose marriage to Ibrahim Traore because she watched the way he spoke, the passion, the virility in which he spoke about loving his people and fighting for his people and all of that. And honestly, if you watch Ibrahim, you see that even when he attends all these international leadership meetings, he's always wearing his soldier captain uniform as kind of a way to remind himself, oh, this is where I'm coming from. I don't have to look better than my, soldiers, my colleagues. I'm still a soldier at heart. I care for them. So she saw all of this and she was like, Daddy, I want him. And they came to propose marriage, and Ibrahim was like, nope, the only person I'm aligning with is Russia, and that's about it. So what's the moral lesson from all of this storytelling? One, let the French, let the Africans breathe. Let us breathe for truth. We don't want any more. This relationship is over. We don't want this. Like, allow us to breathe. Number two, if a good government comes into power, there has to be systems in place to ensure that that government stays in power. And sometimes the answer is not the one people might like, which is dictatorship. But then that's just my personal opinion. Let the good people rule for a long time and let every other person shut up. Let there be a way good people rule. If they begin to turn crazy, then there should also be a way to get them out. But then I don't quite know the word or system for that. Anyways, the third lesson to learn, what's the third lesson to learn? I think Thomas Sankara was a very outspoken person. Why that was a good thing, in a way it was a bad thing, because he was even rude to most of the French delegations and whatever. And in a way, I understand him because, you deserve that. But at the same time, because he was always outspoken with his disgust for the French and all of that, it put him as a target. So One thing I've seen from studying people like CGPN is you never know what CGPN is thinking or saying. He doesn't come out to say too much. You don't really see him, you don't really hear him, or what you experience with CGPN is you see before you hear. Before he has even said it, he has already done it. And it's very hard to track him. So I feel like that's also something that most, revolutionary revolutionary African leaders they need. Um, Talking is nice, yes. The people need to know what their president is doing. That's good, but action, talking, more action, less talking. But all in all, I pray for Burkina Faso that they're able to sustain what they are doing to a point where they completely transform their nation and this good government is actually sustained, right, and carried on by whoever comes on after this. That it will not be a high point and then you're dropping low again. Now that's rubbish. All in all, I hope you enjoyed this, tale. I'll see you all on the next episode.